Greetings, everyone. I'm Dr. Katherine Y. Brown, and I'm so excited to welcome you to today's episode of Wellness Wednesdays. In our virtual studio today, we have none other than Joy Styles. Welcome, Joy.
Hello, I am so delighted to be here with you today. Thank you for inviting me.
Listen, it is our pleasure. Now, you know, once you've been on here, your family, you got to come back and all these other good things.
Excellent. I only need to be told that once. So
today we're just going to talk about all things health. And because I've read your bio and I know about your background, I want you to take the opportunity to share it with all of our viewers around the world. So if they're looking, they're saying, who is Joy? How did she get started? And what is she doing? What is your response?
oh my goodness. Okay, so here's the synopsis. My background is in entertainment. I was an entertainer for over 20 years. I was an actress in New York, and I moved here. I was one of the first Black female country singers to have a deal here in Nashville, Tennessee. So I'm very proud of that. And then I left the business a few years ago. And when I built my house, I said, well, now I'm vested, right? So I wanted to join the HOA. So I did. And the HOA was a hot mess. And so I became the president. And when I became the president of the HOA, I said, my neighborhood and this district seem to have the same problems. We need better accountability, better transparency, better communication, and more just overall engagement, right, with everyone, because I live in the fastest growing part of Nashville, Tennessee, and we are also the most diverse. So for me, living in Southeast Nashville in Antioch feels like home. And I moved here from the East Coast. Like I said, I was in New York when I moved here. And so that's the melting pot, right? So for me, being around multiple cultures, that fuels me. So I ran on community engagement and economic development and also beautification, because those are the needs that we have out here in the area. And I'm really, really proud to say Tanger outlets are going to be opening September 14th.
I saw that. When I want you to keep going, but when I tell you I was so excited to see that, I'm going to be there. We're going to see each other because I'm going to be there.
Wonderful. Well, come on and let me know that you're going to be here so I can show you my Antioch. That's what I like to tell people. We're not Antioch, and people have misnomers about us, but we're great. The people here are wonderful. And I'm really looking forward to our revitalization. So Tanger is a part of that. It's part of a larger project called Century Farms, which is 330 acres. So we just got a Chipotle, we've got an ER. We have several big items that are coming that I can't announce yet, but there are more reasons that you're going to be coming to Antioch. And then, of course, the Global Mall is out here, which was previously the Hickory Hollow Mall and was the first mall in the state. And so it's been a blighted property for over 10 years, but I am proud to say that last year we brokered a deal through the city, and now we own it. And we're about to reveal 3 new renderings next Wednesday night at 6 o'clock for what the entire site is going to look like. And it is going to be very different, and it's going to be beautiful. So there are reasons we are going to be the second urban core for the city, and we're also going to be a place for arts. As I said, I'm an artist, so we're going to have an arts district. We're going to have artist housing, a huge green space, places to sit outdoors, have outdoor performances. We're getting an Antioch Performing Arts Center, so it was one of the things I pitched as part of this purchase. So I've been busy.
You have been busy. Okay, Joy. So people are watching right now and they want to know how they can get this information that's going to be revealed next week. Where should we be looking at to get all the updates about the work that you're doing and the community in general?
Oh my goodness, such a great question. So next Wednesday night at 6 o'clock, it will be at the Southeast Community Center, which is 5260 Hickory Hollow Parkway in Antioch. Now, if you want to go online, there's actually a link to go and see what we've been working on in the process and some of the things that are going to be on the site. And what I can do is I can drop that link in the chat.
Absolutely.
And that's something that you can share, and people can just go there, and we keep it updated, working with the planning department. working with Stantec, which is the design team that's putting the vision together.
Where did you get the inspiration from? I mean, because what you did, when I hear you, what you created is a place to live, work, play, and raise a family. So this wasn't just about putting general infrastructure. This was infrastructure for sustainability and community. So let's talk about it.
Speak on it, my friend. Exactly. Because for the longest time, the truth is Antioch started off on a really high level, and then it swung down really low. And so when I ran, I wanted to swing us upward and in the right direction. And that means investment. It means having community conversations. I hold a monthly community meeting to tell people about rezones. I even tell people about projects that I don't have any control over, just to let them know what's coming to the area. So they're not surprised, because that's what happens a lot of times. Developers will build something, they haven't put the sign out front that they are required to do, saying what's coming. And then people are like, what's happening? What's being built? And what's going on? And so it's really important for me to create communication channels. And then when you build that trust, then you can start having conversations. Okay, what do we want to see out here? What are we missing? And so there's been a need for a really long time, but I think the problem was the timing wasn't right.
Yeah.
And so vision is also required to go along with timing. And if there is no vision, we can just go Bible for a minute, the people perish.
That's
So
right.
with vision, then we can talk about, what do we do with the Century Farms? How do we work with the developers to be sure that they're bringing the things that we need? We've been a food and retail desert for over 10 years, right? Those needs are being met in this new project, but also making sure on the project that it's a place that you can go and hang out if you're not shopping. So there's going to be an art walk. There's going to be installations along the way. There's going to be 2 acres that are dedicated just for the community, with fire pits and places to sit and hang out in between your shopping excursions. We're going to have some new hotels, right? Some higher end hotels, because we have to elevate, right? That's part of growth. And so I'm excited to say, working with the community, we came up with this vision of what we want to see, not only at Century Farms, but also on the mall site. So now we're talking about after school care for our adolescents. We're talking about having a senior center on site, a children's museum. This is a place for community, additional green space. That's the vision. Live, work, play. I don't want to have to drive downtown. I want to go downtown because I want to go downtown.
Yes. Yes.
And so now I'm so excited. I mean, it seems so small, but when you have gone without for so long, we're getting a first watch. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I just get to roll in my sweatpants and be at first watch in 10 minutes, right? So I don't have to drive down the road and go to Brentwood.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So how do you stay well personally? I know we're coming out of different phases of COVID-19. So I actually want a 2-part. How did you stay well, and how do you stay well? Because if people are listening to you, I hope they're hearing what I'm hearing. You've been working during the pandemic and before, and I don't want people to miss that.
Yes, I am a bit of a workaholic, right? And I also look at my time in office. You have 4 years. So it's not a time to come up with one idea to try and work on for 4 years. You've got to hit multiple plans concurrently to get that done, because your second term isn't guaranteed. And of course, I am running for re-election. Come on out and vote, everybody, August 3rd. So let's be clear. During COVID, I was hardcore on health. I was handing out masks at the Kroger's here in my district. My district had the highest numbers in terms of cases. I have a lot of essential workers that work out here. And then they wanted us to meet in person at the Music City Center because our governor shut off our ability to meet electronically when we still didn't have vaccines. So I went to the Music City Center because I said, I'm not dying for the district. I will be wearing a hazmat suit. And I sure did. I wore a hazmat suit and goggles and gloves to every single meeting at the Music City Center. And I didn't catch COVID because I have asthma. So my health is paramount. And I knew if I got COVID, I was going to be in Vanderbilt. That'd probably be my last stop right before I went on out the door, the glory. So I was very careful. My mom lives with me. And so we were very careful. She lives with me now, but I didn't see my mom, excuse me, I'm blurring. I moved my mom here after the pandemic. I didn't see my mother for a year. She was living in Pennsylvania.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
And so, that COVID was a rough time for all of us, right? And so I made sure that I was being intentional, being very communicative online with my constituents, but making sure I was taking care of myself when I went outside and
Mhm.
making sure I wasn't interacting with people. And if I did, making sure that we had that 6 feet of distance. I grew up in a healthcare household. My mom is a retired nurse and my stepfather was a doctor. So I have known about viruses and everything since I was a kid. So when I heard a virus was coming, I was like, oh my goodness, okay, let's implement all the knowledge that we
That's
that
right.
we
That's
have.
right.
And so now I am really intentional about self-care. So that's, scheduling a massage, making sure that, I'm taking time for myself on weekends, mani-pedis. I
That's
love a staycation. Staycations are delightful. Or I have a favorite place that I went during the pandemic. It's a tiny home resort in Mont Eagle because it's the equivalent of being in a hotel room that's not attached to anybody else and you're not breathing their air. So
That's
it
right.
was great. I got to leave town, take a breath, and then, sit around a fire pit and roast some marshmallows and decompress for a day and then come back. Because I say this all the time, but a dry sponge can't clean, right?
I love it. That's the truth.
So I'm all about keeping my sponge good and moist so I can carry on.
I love it. So today is April 6,
Yeah.
2023. What do you envision our community looking like if we accomplish our goals, let's say in the next 5 years? What does that look like for us?
So the goals of the city.
Think in terms of wellness.
Okay, so if we're talking about wellness, it is about being intentional
Mm,
on getting physical exercise, right?
mhm.
I think one of the things that I saw during the pandemic is more people, because they wanted to get out of the house and they wanted to do something quick and easy, they were walking. I
They
had
were
more people
walking.
walking in my neighborhood. And walking is the easiest thing to do because you could walk for 30 minutes. You don't have to speed walk, right? You don't have to run. But that 30 minutes, you do that just a few times a week. There are benefits to that, and you'll start to feel better. Even if your goal isn't to lose weight, you're going to feel better. And it's always good to get your blood pumping
Oh, yeah.
and keep that heart health right. Because, I mean, we really have turned into a very sedentary society. And particularly because now we're dealing with all of this technology and doing hybrids and not necessarily having to travel to a meeting. You get just, put on your pajama pants and a blouse and do a Zoom call, right?
Right.
So there are a lot of reasons to just stay in the house, sit on the couch, eat a snack, binge watch. But I'll tell you, one of the things that I have found that has been phenomenal for me, and it's online, is a group called Eager to Motivate. It is on Facebook. It is an 8-week program.
Mhm.
You pay $40 a week. They give you meal plans. They have live exercise videos, and then you can watch them later in the day via Facebook, several throughout the week. You pay for the first 8 weeks, and after that, you're a member for life. So you just keep starting over, and every 8-week session is different. And I lost 25 pounds
Oh, my goodness.
doing the workouts and following the meal plan. So I encourage people over these next 5 years, as we as a city are trying to incorporate more green space
Yes.
and trails. I have a 600-acre park in my district now called Mill Ridge, and there are going to be trails all through that. I can't wait till we get those trails done because that's a great opportunity. It's so simple. You can go on a nice day. It could be spring, it could be fall, park your car. I really like to be in nature. I feel like that's my opportunity to really have some good God time,
Yeah.
walk around, take in the beauty, and just be calm. That's where I think we're going. The more of a focus we're putting on creating these green spaces so people want to leave their homes and they want to hang outside again versus just staying inside.
I love it. Well, let me tell you, you have given us so much to think about today, from embracing our community to the power of what you can do with vision, to the importance of taking care of yourself. Going back to the roots, my mother was a nurse as well. So I love all of this. So my final question for you is a pretty easy one. Is there
Okay.
anything else that you want to share that we have not discussed? It can be anything you want on wellness, life, your upcoming things you're doing, Joy. The possibilities are endless. You got a book, anything.
So I would say what I'm really excited about right now is the creation of an entertainment commission for Nashville. We've never had that. That has a focus on diversity. It's music and film, and we just got through second reading. I'm super excited. I've been working on this for over a year, and it looks like it's going to go through at our next meeting in 2 weeks. And we will have our very first entertainment commission that includes all of our creative industries and a chance to really interact with the city government and get some help and figure out what we're doing here and how do we support our creative community, because we are Music City, right? So we should have a dedicated plan. And I want to encourage people to come out when we get this art district off the ground. Arts in Antioch is going to be massive. So we do have a mural that's coming, our very first mural, because I'm always all things art. Very first mural is going to be coming underneath the overpass on Bell Road. And it's going to be love painted in 6 languages.
Oh my
And it's
goodness.
going to be our entryway into our arts and innovation district.
I
So
love it. Well,
it's great things.
this is good stuff. I used to live in Antioch. That was the first place that I moved when I left Chicago. I lived in Summerfield. So
Get out. That's mine. If you stayed, you would have been my constituent. Look at that. Come on back. Just come on back. We
there
got
you is there a website specifically for you, a certain hashtag that people should use to follow you?
I am Styles for 32 on Instagram and Twitter, but I am most active on Facebook. I post there almost every day, which is Councilwoman Joy Styles for District 32. And I post everything, infrastructure updates, right? Because I spend a lot of time working with TDOT on getting these potholes in Southeast fixed, which I'm really grateful. TDOT has been wonderful to work with. I would encourage people to pay attention. Today in particular, we are having a hearing at the Planning Commission at 4:00 regarding the new redistricting maps, right? So the state voted to cut us in half and said we had to have maps by May 1st. And so planning is trying to be compliant. And so they have revealed new maps yesterday, but we're waiting to find out, they may do a couple of amendments to these final maps. And that would take us to either a 15 districts and 5 at-large members, or 17 districts and 3 at-large members. And that will be a vote that comes up the last week. We're going to have a specially called meeting to vote on the maps to be sure that we are in compliance. But we are waiting today to hear from judges about whether or not there'll be an injunction, because there is a lawsuit that has been filed based on the constitutionality of the state's bill. And we're waiting to see if the injunction happens today. If that happens, then we're going to be running our race as a regular 40-person body. But if the injunction doesn't happen, then we do move forward with being 20 members in August.
Got it. Well, for more information, they can follow you on your Facebook, Instagram, and all of these various platforms that you are very active on.
I try, and they can go to Redistrict.Nashville.Gov if they want to look at maps, if they are unfamiliar with the current map structures.
All right, so redistricting.Nashville.gov, is that it?
Correct.
I love it. So for our viewers around the world, like this message, share this message, connect with Joy offline, because her information is going to be posted in the comments below. But most of all, invite your friends to join us back next week for the next episode of Wellness Wednesdays. You won't want to miss it, because you never know who's going to be in the studio with me. Until next time, stay healthy and be well. Have a great day, everyone. Bye. Thank you, Joy.